Welcome back to SwitchCorner. It's time for our weekly breakdown of 10 deals under $10, or of course your local currency. In this week's case though, it's more like 14 games because there was way too many options. As always though, I'll be covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australian eShops. Some great deals this week, but then also we do have a winner to announce. We were giving away a code for Ori and the Will of the Wisp from last week's video, and I'll be announcing that through today's video. So with that luck, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here, join our growing family, and let's get started. So let's start big today. Mighty Gunfall Burst is a game I featured on my Switch Gems series, and with good reason. It is absolutely incredible. Here what we get is a great 2D action platformer with some stunning pixel work that is going to kind of remind many of you of Mega Man. This one though, it brings together two characters. We've got Beck from Mighty No. 9 and then Gunfall from Azure Striker. You're not coming to this one for story, but you are coming here for incredibly tight platforming mechanics. And if you do consider yourself a fan of either of these characters or the Blue Bomber himself, buy this immediately, you will not regret it. We also don't see this one go on sale too often. If you do fall in love with the game then as well, just know there is currently 7 DLC characters available to build out that roster, and they are super cheap. It's been some time since I've played this one personally. I don't have half the DLC, so I think it's time I repay it a visit too. 50% off though, it's a solid price on a game that was already cheap to begin with. So next up then, for the second time on sale ever, 3000th Duel, and last time I mentioned it, it got a lot of attention, and with good reason. It's a solid Metroidvania that's clearly taking influence from Dark Souls 2. Here though, you're a hero with no memory in an unknown world, and you're simply out to discover basically where you are and who you are. The story, it is actually surprisingly decent once it gets going, but it's the variety in gameplay where it really succeeds. You get here like 300 biomes to explore, more than 150 enemies, boss battles, tons of weapons, different playstyles. There is a lot here, and even then when repetition kicks in, it's so easy to mix things up and feel like you're playing something just slightly different, like go from a ranged weapon to a close encounters weapon. Didn't expect much going into this 2D world honestly, and it was a real nice surprise, and while initially I gotta say I didn't like the graphical style, they really did grow on me. 50% off, it marks a new all-time low for this one as well. Alright, so any excuse to talk about this one but to the moon. This is hands down one of my favourite games of recent memory, up there with the likes of, think something like Firewatch, you know, story-driven experiences, and over the last few years I gotta say for me, they've kind of come to the forefront of my collection, and this is one of the very best out there. The game, it looks old school, no doubt about that, and yes, it's pretty much, you know, SNES era RPG, but do not let that deceive you because it really isn't that. It's essentially you piecing together a story as you navigate this world. So yeah, no combat, nothing else. That story though, incredible. Reading something kind of like think Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Here though, you'll be accompanying 2 doctors who provide a very unusual service, one where they artificially fulfill last wishes. So basically on your deathbed, they give you a new set of memories. You forget everything else you know, but you get that one dream. In this case, it's an old man who wishes he went to the moon, and your role, traverse his mind and implant these ideas. I challenge anyone to play this one and not get just a little bit choked up. There's no other game out there quite like it. It is short at around 4 hours, but what a 4 hours it is. The soundtrack as well, on another note, check that out, another stunning piece of work. 30% off, don't see a sale on this one too often, and that seems to be the lowest we've seen in some time. Alright, so that one was pretty serious. Let's look at like the ridiculous super budget. In fact, they came from the sky. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get like hours out of this one, but it is fun just for those, you know, pick up and play moments. You know, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, if you're on a break or something. But I mean, the price is so low, even if you find yourself, let's say you were disappointed, your bank account won't exactly be crying. The idea is simple though. It's an old school arcade experience where you control a spaceship and you're beaming up puny humans to make a human smoothie during the 1950s. Simple stuff, as I say, but addictive thanks to like the different ships you can use, different animals you can abduct, high scores to beat, and even local 4-player mode. 75% off, I honestly think it's well worth that asking price. So with the recent Hades absolutely crushing expectations, Supergiant Games have gone ahead and dropped a sale on their 2 previous Switch releases. While not all-time lows, they're close enough, and the quality, you honestly just can't argue. So first up, we got Bastion coming in with a huge 80% off. Here we get an action role-playing game, and this one, it pretty much set in place the visual style Supergiant would become, known for, and I adore this world. It's full of life and colour. Here though, you'll be looking to discover the mystery behind a surreal catastrophe. With a ton of weapons though, enemies, and then a fast pace, it's well worth your time. Even when you do beat the game as well, they know how to give you value for your cash, because you'll unlock not only a new game plus, but also a score attack mode. Stunning stuff, and the start of like what I would say was Supergiant status as a force to be reckoned with on the Nintendo Switch. Just know that with this one, it is not a roguelike as with Hades, so this one's got a more consistent story. Just though now all I want from Supergiant, they need to release Pyre on Switch. Then probably my favourite of the two Supergiant games before Hades, Transistor. For me, honestly, the gameplay is really top quality with all their releases, but it was the setting with this one that won me over. This futuristic cyberpunk-like style where you'll be accompanied by a talking sword. Same thing here though, action RPG, not a roguelike, but they are masters of storytelling in both formats, and it really shows here. The big focus with this one, it's kind of like customizable weapons and the skills. I'd watch a review on this one first. I think it's probably the most polarizing of their releases, but once you get the idea down, it's very difficult to put it down. Then to wrap it all off as well, a stunning jazz soundtrack they've gone for that just tops off the entire package. Like Bastion, not the all-time low, but close enough with 80% off, and if any dev deserves the support, it's Supergiant, and hopefully Hades will bring in even bigger crowds. Pretty sure though they're almost becoming a household name at this point. Alright, so Guacamelee now, one of the best Metroidvanias on the Switch. While it's not an all-time low price on either entry in the US or Canada, it actually is everywhere else, getting it onto today's list. Plus, I mean, these games are stunning anyway and should be on everyone's wish list. The first game, it's the Super Turbo Championship Edition. Guacamelee is an action platformer set in a mystical world inspired by traditional Mexican culture and folklore. It's just got this incredible combat and platforming though around that. You also can play then up to 4-player local co-op, and there's some seriously creative just like enemies and bosses. Perhaps the standout for both games, though, I gotta say, it's the hand-drawn style of visuals. Even the story as well, I gotta say they absolutely nail it. It's got a really good like consistent theme, and then it just has this solid sense of humour too. You're setting out to save the president's daughter and travel through the worlds of the living and dead. Really good stuff. Then the sequel, that one's simply titled Guacamelee 2. It takes the formula, dials it all up to 11, and pretty much improves across the board. For sure, in minor ways, those improvements, but when it was so good to begin with, that is absolutely fine with me. Don't want to say too much on story, to avoid spoilers, not that I'm sure anyone would really care, but yeah, well worth investing in both of these. There's actually even a physical double pack if that's more your style, and that comes with some real nice extra goodies. So next up then, Rhythm fans, Lenota, and this is a weird little hidden gem, and while it has a few issues, I'll say now its uniqueness makes up for them. A warning with this one though, it is handheld only, there's no dock play, and you're going to be hitting notes with the touchscreen functionality, and you're aiming at like this circular field. What makes this one interesting though is the fact it actually comes with a mature rating down to a single like song with some strong language. Do not let that put you off. There's nothing really else here that's going to offend anyone. But yeah, sure, it's definitely rare for the rhythm genre. What I like about this one though, it's the fact it has a story to go along with the gameplay. Here the world has lost sound and colour, and two heroes, they set out to basically bring music back to the world and overall save the day. Either way though, look, I really like the rhythm mechanics in this one, so check out a trailer or two with this one, as the music definitely goes all over the place. But yeah, you do not see a sale on this one too often, and I think 50% off is like solid. When you factor in, you're getting like 70 tracks to work your way through here, so there's a decent amount of gameplay and a story to enjoy. So my personal pick of the week now and then, our RE winner, but I'm going with Urban Flow. This is one I meant to check out back in the day on release, got great reviews, and now it's dropped on stale and I still don't own it. The idea is simple enough though, control traffic lights and don't let the city to descend into absolute chaos. I love these high pressure puzzle games. If anyone remembers like the old Flash game, I think it was, where you control like the planes going into like land, and I've also gone blank on the name of that now, but it's kind of like a similar idea. Here though, with up to 4 players, over 100 levels in its campaign, and then chill and endless modes too. Pretty confident I'm going to get my money's worth. 40% off as well. Absolutely fine with me, and the graphics are absolutely stunning, like almost cel shaded. Really looking forward to checking this one out. So our winner then of RE and the Will of the Wisp for our final 3 games of the week. And first, thank you all for commenting. I think it's the most I've ever seen on a single video for the channel. We had over 500, which is just crazy. So yeah, Thank you all for the support. I wish I could give you all a code, but that would literally just like bankrupt me. So yeah, single winner, but the winner is Rob Tung, who played Bulletstorm back in the day on PC and is reinvesting on the Switch. So drop me an email, Rob, to claim your code. Just know as well, if you didn't check out the video already, I'm giving away a copy on Saturday's video as well, so head there after this one. I'll link it at the end of the video. So our final 3 games then, starting with Blazing, because I had a ton of comments asking if this was worth it in like the last week or so. Spoken about it before, so I'm going to keep this quick. Absolutely worth it at 87% off, but it also drops to this price now relatively like regularly. This one though, it's a solid roguelike with a great cast of characters. It's got a story mode, a tournament mode, local co-op, multiple characters, and there's a ton of collectibles there as well. It gives you a lot of reasons to keep coming back. Where this one kind of mixes things up though, it's the items. They're essentially like cursed, so you need to balance stealing everything in sight with what you can handle, but you take all this bad stuff and you go and sell it. I had fun with this one, still haven't beat it myself, but I don't think you'll regret this price, and it is very well regarded. So our penultimate game of the week then, Wargroove. Not a sale I see too often, and it's back and it's matching its all-time low of 50% off, and it even actually has some free DLC now to go alongside it. If you remember the mighty Advance Wars, this is similar. It actually even got a physical release as well, if that's again more your style, but it's a great turn-based strategy that's, you know, good for any level of player. It's relatively simple, but with a story mode, local play, online, co-op, there's going to be a lot to keep you busy, but you'll also find different kind of like levels of player. What I really like though, it's seeing a story in a game like this. It just ties everything together as you set out to save a kingdom. The only thing that might put some people off, the whole like pixel style of art. Honestly though, look past that for one of the best strategy entries on the Switch, and you cannot knock it at this price. Jump on it now though if you want it, because I will say I haven't seen this sale in like 5 months, so it's not something we see too frequently, or at least this far. The final game of the week then, and it was an easy choice this one. Sadly, this is US and Canada only, but Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales. This has only ever been on sale once before, and this game is incredible if, you know, like an acquired taste. Basically, we get story-driven exploration that is then combined with the occasional puzzle, but then a whole lot of card deck battles and building. So yeah, gotta like your card decks if you jump into this one. With the story though coming from the same devs, you know, CD Projekt Red, it just maintains the same quality you're used to from the team. It's a great companion piece to The Witcher 3 on the Switch, one of the most impressive ports out there. Here though, you're going to be stopping an upcoming invasion on your lands and just overcoming evil. What really helps this one though, I gotta say, it's the hand-drawn style they went for, absolutely visually stunning. Also, I gotta say, for the small asking price, you're looking at a minimum of somewhere like 30 hours of gameplay. You cannot complain at that. So that is it, another week down. Will you be adding anything to your collection? Remember then to check out our Saturday edition if you want another chance to win a copy of Aria. I'll be announcing that this week. Then as always, like a shout out to the patrons of the channel. We're just going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. Truly is appreciated, helps more than you know, so yeah, thank you so much. If you do want to check that out for yourself, it is linked in the description down below. With that then, like, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.